Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K. Welcome everyone. I'm so happy you could join me today. And today I have a project share. It is a fabric covered envelope flip journal with a signature in the middle of it. And I created one of these for my design team back in March for Angel Dream Crafts. And I will have that listed below in the description box, a link for that one in case you missed it the first time. And I had created a second signature for that one and it ended up not fitting, so I ended up making another very similar one. And this is what I came up with. And again, it is an envelope flip journal. The majority of this is made of different envelopes that kind of flip in and out. And the cover is a fabric cover. I did use fabric. I use a sheet of Peltex and then also a envelope to create the cover. And on the cover you do see some braid trim that came from Hobby Lobby, and the little rosette trim on the side is also from Hobby Lobby. This beautiful applique did come from my mom's neighbor. It's some lace or an applique that she had picked up when she lived in Italy. And then I was really excited about this find right here on the side. This trim right here is some French lace that I had picked up. It's vintage that I had found at the thrift store for next to nothing. So I was really excited about that. And then this applique had some more coming off of it. And I ended up putting it on the top and the bottom here just because it didn't all fit on the front. And so that is this part of it. And then the closure is just some crocheted trim, and again, this is a vintage piece that I lucked out and found at a thrift store, so I was excited about that also. And I did sew it in between the two layers, so it is in there pretty sturdy. And on the inside I do have some, I did create a pocket. I didn't stick anything inside the pocket, but this trim is also some vintage trim that I received from my design team package back in March from Angel Dream Crafts. And the doily is from my stash, but I do want to let you know that all the other laces and trims that you see on the inside of this journal are from Angel Dream Crafts. And again, this signature was meant to go into my last design team project, but I created such a big one that I couldn't get both signatures in it, so I just ended up creating this second one. And so I thought it was kind of fun. I did add this doily on the outside of this signature. It's one I've had in my stash for a while that I picked up at the thrift store. And again, there's my signature, and this part right here are all envelopes, and then this is just digitals and some tea-dyed paper. So again, all these little flips here are all made with envelopes, and they all have some sort of pull-out journal card or tag. Either it pulls out from the top or the side. And this is really fun. I had some German paper that I had received in my design team package, so I did use some of that vintage paper kind of throughout. So that was a little German script right there and a little journal card that I created. And then the digital that I did use for this is Antique Paperie. It's like, I think it's Love Paris, or I can't remember the name of it. If I remember, I'll just write the name of it in the description box. I don't know if she might have retired this set, so I don't know if she sells it anymore. She does have an Etsy store, but sometimes she doesn't have stuff in it. And so I will link that if it is available to link. And then I do know she is working on, the owner of Antique Paperie, I believe she's working on a website, I think. So I have a cute little cluster right there. And this side I did leave blank. I did try to leave some blank pages just so that you could journal on it. Another little cluster of some snippets and some eyelash trim. And then here I have a little paper clip that I created. This comes off. And a little journal card. And some of the paper in here too, I guess, came from a Prima paper pad. This one I know, the Paris Jetem, came from a Prima paper pad. And then there was also some spots here to journal. And then when you flip this one over, I have some little paper clusters there again with some laces and trim and some paper underneath it. And this one does have a journal card that you pull out. And I did some collaging on that. And the top for my tab, I just use a little snippet cluster that I created from some different laces and trims, and then some fabric which this fabric right here is part of this fabric, and that came from a pillowcase. And I had some really pretty trim on the pillowcase that my mom had found it at the thrift store, and I pulled the trim off, and I don't think I've used that trim on anything yet, but I did try to use up all the pieces. So here's the next one, and this one was really fun. I added some little ruffle trim on that one, and so this one I did a little collage there with a couple pieces of scrap paper, and this side I left blank again to journal on, and that just fits in this pocket. And on most of the pockets on one side or the other, I did try to notch it out just to make it easier to know that there was something in there to pull out. And this one I have a little top pocket that was part of an applique. And this one was fun. I added this trim I love. This is some Venice trim that was from Angel Dream Crafts. I just love that trim. And I sewed it on the bottom. I actually sewed it on a paper strip and then sewed it on the paper just to give it a little extra stability. And this one, this envelope flips up. And this one kind of looks like an envelope. And I did some layering again there with some ribbons and trims. And I have a little postcard in there. And I put some lined ledger paper on the back of that one for more journaling. And just a pretty piece of paper, another little piece of snippet from a trim. And let's see this one. So yeah, then this one like that, and then this flips out this way. And again, I have a little cluster right here. And this one you open up, and then I created a little pocket. Again, the trim was some vintage trim from Angel Dream Crafts. And that's just some scrapbooking ledger type paper. I stuck a little tag in that one. And then this one I have a postcard pocket right here with a piece of applique. And I created kind of like a little bookmark tag on this one. And then there you can journal on the back side of that one. And this envelope does have a window on it. And I did try to make sure if I had window envelopes that you could see something pretty through it. So that one I did do another layered collage on there with some images. And again, all this paper is Antique Paperie. And then the back of this you can journal on. And this paper was some that I bought a long time ago at a scrapbooking store. It's from Bo Bunny. One of my favorite paper collections, that, you know, basic paper collections that they had. I don't think you can buy it anymore, but I liked it just because I liked the lines on it. It was nice for adding to journal pages and such. Then this one, next one flips here, and again, this is like a CD envelope, and I decorated with some paper, and I have remnants of an applique left over from a past design team project. And then you flip it up, and another journal card on that one. And this was light enough that you could journal on that, on the back side of that one. More of that German paper, vintage German paper. And this one is a ribbon with some script writing on it, and then right here you could journal. And then here I made a cute little pocket with some lace trim. And this comes out, and this has some tulle on it right here that maybe you can see, and then that you can just flip that open and you can journal there in the back side. And I have a little cluster up there. And then the middle of this envelope signature, I have paper to journal on. And I didn't do a lot of decorating on this. It's either the digital paper from Antique Paperie or the coffee dyed or tea dyed paper. And I did do some stenciling on it. You can see the stenciling. And then I also stamped some like Paris or Parisian type theme stamps. Some of them came from Graphic 45. Some of them are from a thrift store rummage sale find that I found that had a lot of Paris themed stamps in them, and they didn't have names on them, so I don't know what company they're from. Here's a musical terms. This is a vintage sheet that I found. I bought some music paper, and that was in there. It was actually it was a folder, and it was full of old music paper, you know, from like the 1920s. And here's some vintage music paper. This one's 1924. And so that one does flip open. You can add something to that one if you want. I added some vintage ledger paper. That one probably isn't quite as old, but it was, the cover of that was older. So, I mean, it's probably, you know, 40s or 50s on that one. some of that German book paper, some more stamping in the corner. This is some parchment paper. I did also ink all my edges with Tim Holtz. It was one of the Tim Holtz Distress inks. I can't remember the color of that one off the top of my head. These label rubber stamps are from Fiskars. And then another pretty sheet from Antique Paperie. Some journaling in the middle. You know, each page, if I did stamp, it is a different stamp. I didn't repeat any of the stamps that I had. This one's a Graphic 45, Très Chic. That one's Graphic 45. And this one's Personal Stamp Exchange. And this ledger paper here, I flipped it open so that you can still add something to it if you want. That one was a Tim Holtz stamp. And then this is the last part of the signature. So here again, there was another window envelope. And that one, you could just see this pretty flower image there. And backsides for journaling. And then I also tried to put something when you pulled out the journal cards so that you would still see something pretty behind there or something interesting. So again, some more of that German dictionary paper. And I had received that in one of my past design team packages from Angel Dream Crafts. She does carry some vintage book papers in her shop, which I really like. And that was some really fun paper to work with. It had a really nice feel to it. And then this one opens up. And again, I have a spot here to journal. And this one does have a journal card in it again. Just some pretty paper. And then I did just a little bit of piecing, collaging down there on the bottom. And then this is all for journaling. And let's see here. I have another small envelope. I added some trims and it opens up. And then I have a little journal card in there. That one I forgot to notch, so I might have to cut that one yet. And another little bookmark, tag, and a pocket. And some paper again from Antique Paperie and my design team package that I had a while ago. And that folds up again. And I have this little snippet with the dangle, the Venice lace on it. And then that flips that way. And this flips up. And again, you can kind of see there's some more journaling and some paper collaging. And we already looked at that journal card when we pulled this out. It's this one right here. So I'm not going to pull that one out again. And then the back half of that doily, and then the pocket. And then again, there's the back cover. And the doily in the middle, I did add eyelets to it so that you could tie this inner signature together. I just wanted to thank everybody so much for watching today. And if you didn't see my other fabric covered envelope flip book or journal, I do have a link for that listed below or at the end of the video. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.